I have done something nice, not only for you, but for the crowd. I have decided not to look at the AOC stuff until live. So you get a live reaction from Pasta Jardula today on this AOCIA stuff. Which, by the way, I have two friends, fam, that always talk about that CIA or that CIA. I tried to make a joke with Steve yesterday about Fiorella is going off on the AOCIA stuff again. And he's like, because she is. He got so excited. He was like, she is CIA. She's got so much shady shit.
She really does.
So, fam, go right into it. I got it up on the screens for you. Guys, you know the drill. Hit the like button, hit the share button, do all those beautiful things to help the Convo Couch crush the mainstream media. Fam, what do you got? Go ahead.
So first of all, we're going to have a special guest later on, surprise guest live from Moscow. But
oh snap.
Okay, so guys, we talked about this the other day, right? And we saw her critics call her out for pushing nuclear war, for voting to fund billions and billions of dollars to Ukrainian Nazis, which is essentially what she did. And she got called out. Now, this group, of course, is young people, came with the LaRouche group. Now, the LaRouche group is, for some people don't like them very much or whatever. That's irrelevant to me to a certain degree because of what they said. Because to me, as much as I may not agree with a lot of what they say, I don't care, because at the end of the day, what they did was necessary. And I think it's important. And a lot of people got a lot of pushback when they focused so much on who these people were rather than what they said. And what they said was nothing matters if we get blown up and we are taken into nuclear war. But what happened with AOC was, instead of saying, you know what, maybe I should listen to you guys, maybe I should hear you out, she went back and started vilifying them in a way that is so reminiscent of the Democratic Party and what they do. So I said the US left are useful idiots to NATO imperialists who know zero about foreign policy, but AOCIA is a State Department influencer, because, guys, that's all she is. She's not a congresswoman, really. I said, notice how she uses their language, vilifying the messenger with Trump comparisons, but Putin as well, and Ukraine self-determination. This isn't a coincidence. So let's see what she said. She got asked on Instagram, could you speak on being confronted by anti-war protesters? She said, sure. They were actually not anti-war protesters. Pasa, can you take us off the thing so I can read it? They were right-wing Trumpers, and some were LaRouche cult members, not progressives as they claimed. Their own social media history shows this. It was a stunt that they do from time to time. Last time they showed up to a town hall yelling about eating babies or something. It's a thing they do to go viral and draw in people. This time they were parroting pro-Putin talking points. Not anti-war to support Russia's imperialist project to invade and seize neighboring countries either. Ukraine, like other nations, has the right to self-determination. The only person instigating threats of nuclear weapons is Putin, no one else. As far as their comments about Tulsi Gabbard, Gabbard has voted for more defense budget increases than I ever have. Look it up. Happy to dig more into Ukraine in other posts. A lot of these right-wing video and social media stunts are predicated on people not knowing the context and just believing whatever the person is saying for face value, which is exactly what she's doing here, by the way. For example, in the video, they cut out the part where they waited to yell until a deaf constituent was trying to ask a question, so it would look like everyone was mad at their words instead of the fact that they were harming a person with a disability. Again, bringing up the disability. So again, I was just pointing out her projection and how she uses Russia's imperialist project and uses a lot of calling them right-wingers. And this is exactly what she's doing. She's projecting, because she's giving you a whole scenario, a whole narrative about Ukraine being the victim and about Ukraine's independent right without giving you the context as to what happened before that. And so this is precisely what I'm talking about here. And of course, we know that Ukraine, his government was overthrown in 2014 via a coup. And we know that, of course, there was a violation of the Minsk Accords. NATO kept expanding eastward, breaking Russia's red lines. But she doesn't mention any of that. She doesn't even reference the funding of Nazis or nuclear war that she was being criticized for. So she's not addressing all of this, right? Because she doesn't need to address this, because her job is to distract and influence via social media, especially the youth, because the youth is exactly how the West has always turned people against their own countries or distracted them from actually organizing. And her job is, of course, simple PR for the State Department. And if you look into her background, it's not surprising. If you look into who she hung out with and how they propped up the fact that she was a bartender, but really she had been working for the government for a long time.
Yeah. And fam, you saw her bartending skills. You were not that impressed, you said.
I wasn't. I'm ready to go toe to toe with AOC's bartending. I think her bartending sucks, and I think I could be a way better bartender than her, because I was a real bartender for like 10 years.
We've issued the challenges. Number one, Fee wants to take AOC on in a bartending competition. Number two, I want to take on Cenk Uygur in an MMA fight. It's out there. You got it, guys. If you want to do it, we have it. We'll do it for charity. We'll let you pick the charity, just so we can beat the you know what out of you.
Not Ukrainian neo-Nazis, please. Yeah, we're not doing that charity.
Okay, so fam, let's talk about people who are running cover over here, because I think that's more of the story too as well. I can't wait to have Anya come on, because I want to ask Anya about the whole fence sitting and when people take this kind of stance. And don't get me wrong, there are arguments to be made for people who are saying, okay, let's look at this from both sides. However, at the end of the day, my point stands and my position stands with exactly what Vanessa Beeley said on this show. Look who the ultimate aggressor is, and look who the ultimate of being oppressed is. That's where you start your point of view from. Yeah, you could technically say that everybody's point of view is propaganda, and you're spewing this person's propaganda over that person's propaganda, but it's kind of like a chicken shit argument. It's very myopic, if you ask me.
It's reductionist. That's what it is.
It is totally reductionist. Fam, what do we got over here?
So Katie got in some hot water, and she did rectify her statement. She said that she was wrong when she said that AOC's protesters did a bad job, and that LaRouche is very bad, and Tulsi is good on some things and terrible on others, and protests can be justifiable and ineffective. So she was in some hot water because she focused on the messenger rather than the message, right? And like this is the thing. Like, you don't have to be a fan of LaRouche, but I'm just pointing out the different I guess reactions that people had regarding this whole thing. And it really doesn't matter about who these people were. They pointed out something right in her and what she did. Now, LaRouche, I don't agree with him on climate change. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but they actually had the guts to have people out there. So I think that was something that was important, right? So at least she had the she actually rectified and responded to that. She had stated something, criticized the protesting, which kind of made it seem like it was a very elitist thing to do. So a lot of people were responding to that.
Your microphone went a little bit rogue. It seems like you're very close on the edge of being staticky and sometimes not staticky. So the last sentence, we'll just repeat that. Hello, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah. So I was just saying.
Staticky. Shit.
Is it bad?
You need to put earbuds in too, because there's an echo.
Okay. I can get the earbuds if you wait a minute.
Go get the earbuds, and I will just address the crowd out there. Sorry, guys. Guys, thank you so much for joining the Convo Couch. We should have our guest here very shortly. Anya Parnpal is going to come in and talk a little bit about foreign policy, a new project she's working on. Fiorella is going to get some earbuds. She'll be right back. Hear static, but no echo. Okay. Thank you, Bob K. We're working on it.
Okay.
So put your earbuds in, but then when you go to your settings and your audio, keep your microphone on, but put your sound to your earbuds, and that should work. You don't have to make a complete change to them.
Let's see. Let's hope it is. But when I have my guest on, we're just going to have to take everything off, I guess.
Yeah, your microphone setting's a little bit too loud again.
Okay. Still? I didn't change anything.
There's no static there. See, that's beautiful.
Okay.
Did you put your earbuds in?
Yeah, they're in.
All right, go to your settings and put your microphone back on, because I think your microphone's turned off. Sorry, guys.
No, the microphone is on.
Gotcha. Perfect. So that's no static right now, and the earbuds are working good. Oh, there comes a little static. We'll see. Oh, Jesus.
I hear it.
Touched. My microphone's coming in and out, too.
I don't know if it's... Huh?
Who was that back there? Tell him to keep down.
He'll be on in a second.
Okay, fam. So let's get to the Tulsi part because, first of all, let's talk about Katie's kind of initial reaction. And this is something that's going on because I'm not going to single out Katie Halper on this. This is like a reaction that you feel you have to say certain things to justify others. In other words, because a person has a bad point of view or they're wrong on something, that you have to put this caveat in there and say, oh, yeah, because this person is bad on this thing, that does not justify what they're saying over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a natural reaction that I think that is implanted by the controllers out there who want you to always make sure that you can't just talk about a subject on its matter by itself. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They always want to kind of bring in the static of sorts that if this person has a bad opinion about something in column A, that they have no relevance when they say something in column B. And this just seems like a controlled mechanism, an implanted mechanism that's implemented in our discourse to take us away from actually looking at the problems that are really on the table. Whether we like LaRouche or not, whether we like Tulsi Gabbard or not, the fact is that there are some serious concerns of the saber rattling that's going on that could lead us to a nuclear war. You know, Vanessa Gillies talked about it. People in this region have talked about it. I'm sure Wyatt will come on and talk about it. It's a very serious thing. So we should be able to talk about nuclear proliferation, nuclear weapons, and what we're exactly doing in these countries on their border that could lead to an all-out nuclear war without saying, yeah, but LaRouche is bad about this, and Tulsi's bad about that, and Marianne Williamson does the same fucking thing, right? They all do this, okay? As progressives, these are the people who are doing it most. Oh, yeah, I don't want to die on that hill when talking about, what's his name? Kyle Rittenhouse. Saying that you don't want to say something because you might be looked upon in a certain manner if you talk logically about something, because you're not allowed to say that because of the designed cultural rules that have now been implanted, especially when it comes to political discourse. Am I making sense, or am I just talking out my ass?
I think you're making sense. I think I get what you're saying.
They have controlled mechanism of speech within the progressive movement.
It's the ideologue first situation.
Yes.
Right? Like, because I'm on the left and because I believe this thing, then I'm going to look at the messenger first rather than the message. And it's something that we have to become self-aware of. Can you guys hear? Am I good?
You're clean.
Like,
you're
okay. All right. Because when
limpio is Spanish for clean, by the way, fam.
Yes, I had no idea. Thank you, Gringo, for letting me know. No idea what limpio meant. But when you come from that angle, you miss out a lot of the stuff. Like I like I said before, and I said it in a chat, like I'm not, on board with LaRouche, but I've also talked to a lot of them, and some of them are cool. And some of them, I disagree with. It's that simple. But on the Tulsi Gabbard situation, real quick, before we bring on our guest, I feel quite a division here with her. Some of our friends are upset with her. Some people obviously love her. She can do no wrong. I think I'm leaning more towards, like, I don't buy what she's selling. But I also think that she is where we're at right now in the political landscape in the United States. She's definitely etchings above so many people in terms of not wanting to start a nuclear war. And that is the bare minimum right now. And that's where people are looking at. So this is why, even though the bar is so low, like, she is one of the only people speaking out against this, even if she is still using some of the talking points, even if she is supporting people that are problematic.
Yes. Yeah,
Not just that we disagree with, but that I just think are not good
some of the
candidates to
generals,
support.
absolutely. And there's a lot of things I don't like about Carrie Lake. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of things I do really like about Carrie Lake, and that's the fact that she's going to work to fix elections. But go ahead.
Right. So first off, she said in this video, nuclear holocaust can be prevented if Biden US followed example of JFK, who quietly negotiated with Soviets Khrushchev during the Cuban Missile Crisis. But Biden and warmongers are too cowardly to do the right thing. Hear more. So let's go ahead and watch this video and hear what she says in this video.
The most important.
I got to mute us up, guys. Sorry. Give us a second. Guys, Anya Parampel has just arrived in the building. And we'll get into this. This is Tulsi talking about nuclear war and whatnot, the whole situation. Convo Couch, you guys know what to do. Hit the like button. We're also on Rumble. So if you want to get over there and Rumble and help us out, hit the like button, hit the share button. I'm going to mute us up for a second.
The most important responsibility that any president has in this country is to keep the American people safe. But as you and I are sitting here today, the reality is that our president and Democratic Party warmongers have pushed us to the precipice of nuclear war. This is the most urgent existential threat facing the American people and the world today.
We're helping Ukraine the same way we helped Afghanistan. We are leveling this country by our armaments, our HIMARS, their missiles. If you fly the flag for Ukraine, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that the way to protect Ukraine is NATO weaponry in an escalation to nuclear war. That's no protection at all.
The leverage that the United States has, obviously because of the money and arms and everything that are pouring into Ukraine, is probably the most powerful in the world to push for peace.
Our government says we love Ukraine, but they're loving them to death.
Literally.
You know, putting Ukraine in between NATO and Russia. It's going to be Ukraine that's going to receive the first nuclear attack if there is one.